Okay. So, we're on the mission on Chaf.
Chafam and Aleph and Makkos.
Okay.
Isurim that are punishable by Malkus. Go ahead, Rabbi. One.
Hakori Karcha Beroisha. So what's this talking about over here? The guy is detaching hair from his head. Why? Because he's in pain for a loved one that passed away. Rashi says, Hakori Karcha Beroisha Alamis Kid Mefarish B'Gemara. The Gemara will explain. Obviously, that's not a way to mourn. That's you never want to inflict pain upon yourself. So that's how the Mishnah starts off. Makif Ka'as Roisho. Okay, so this is talking about, now that we're talking about removing hair from the head, this is talking about someone is going to remove from his payas over here. Going to remove from his the payas that he has, and then that's not going to be good at all, right? We know that that's what makes us unique, and a lot of reasons. So therefore, that's not going to be good. Okay. V'hamashchis ba'azikno. Okay, this is talking about someone who shaves his beard over here. What is it talking about? For sure, you're allowed to shave your beard, but you're not allowed to use a razor. So this is talking about a razor. Okay. So
What does it mean, the corners of his beard?
yeah, so there's certain sections we're actually gonna see. There's gonna be a discussion among the Rishonim that you're not allowed to shave. The other parts you are allowed to,
But
technically with the
Pashup
razor.
shot here in the Mishnah, it's referring to a place on the beard.
Right. I mean, Peah is a
Yeah,
corner. Is a corner literally.
right.
So that's gonna be a major tumult over here. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So then the Mishnah continues and says, Vahasoirit. Okay, so this is talking about, let's say someone uses his nails, his fingernails over here. Okay. Um or something else. Okay. Srita achas, he's making a scratch. Similar idea for detaching the hair. There was one of his loved ones that passed away, and this is how he's expressing his anguish, alameis chayiv. In all of these scenarios, a person will be liable to receive the lashes. Malkus, you're not allowed to do any of this over here. All these are not good. By the way, this isn't a chiddush of the Mishnah. This is an explicit pasuk. It's actually going to be coming up soon in the parsha. In Devarim Yudalid says that we're children to Hashem. Lo tisgoydu v'lo tasimu karcha b'neineichem lameis. You can't scratch yourself, and you can't, you know,
Hold on, the house is calling. Hold on one second.
yeah. Okay, so the Mishnah continues. Sarot srita achas al chamisha meisim. Let's say a person makes one scratch for five different people who were deceased. O chamish sritos
Rahmana Litzlan. Okay.
al meis echad. Or if he's doing five scratches for one deceased. So he's doing five. He's either doing one for each person or he's doing five scratches for one person. Chayv al kol achas v'achas. You're going to be liable for each and every one on each scratch.
Either Kavana or Misa will trip you up.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it was for one person, for five. It's the act that matters.
No, no. It's either the Kavana or the Misa.
What do you mean?
If someone made a single cut for
Yeah.
5 dead people,
Yeah, he's doing the act five times.
I didn't get that.
Oh, you're saying from the
No,
first one.
it's
Sar
not.
Srita
He
Achas.
only made one cut, but his Kavana was for 5 dead
Oh, on the
people.
first one.
Yeah. So either he's Chayiv Malkus for each dead person or for each cut. Very, very machmir.
There's one way of reading it. So is Srita Achas Al Chamisha Mason. Yeah, I think you're actually right. It's a chiddush. Stringency, yeah, I
Yeah.
think
The
Rashi's
Rush
good.
the Rush says that he doesn't have a scriptural source for this.
By the way, there's no. I made a mistake. It's not Rashi. It's the Rivan now.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Al Roishtayim. Achas Mikan v'Achas Mikan. Okay, this is talking about on the head. So that you're gonna get someone will get two lashes, one on for one side, one on for the other side.
Hmm.
So you can't certain parts are a problem to shave off. We'll learn about this. Al Zakin on the beard. You're gonna get five lashes. Shtayim mikan va'achas milamata. It's gonna be two on each side, so that's four, and then one down below. So this is actually gonna be subject to a major discussion exactly what we're talking about over here among the Rishonim. It's gonna be the Rivan, Rabbeinu Hananel, and Rashi in Masechah Shavuos in a different place. Um, so got to be careful. Basically, the classic pace is over here by the ear. Yeah. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, even nitulu kulan, if all of them were taken, ka'achas, simultaneously, chai belachas, you'd only be liable to get lashed once. So basically, what's going on, the five locations, just to speak it out, the most famous location is right here by the ear. And then you're gonna have one down over here towards the middle. Remember, you could shave there, just you can't use a razor. So one is gonna go over here. So that's already three. And then that last one, there's a discussion exactly where that is. Is that here's the big argument. Is it gonna be more over here? Is there gonna be another place over here? Is it gonna be a little bit further up here? So
This is all with a razor, right?
yeah,
What's Pshat?
the razor. We're gonna see why specifically a razor. I mean, it's a destructive.
Is it
It
because the effect it has on the skin?
Yes, meaning we're talking about over here that you can't rip out hair, right? You can't cause yourself to be in pain. So it's gonna remove
So,
some of the skin also.
and this cutting of the beard with the razor, it's not just when for a dead person. Nothing to do. It means
Correct.
kalafayim.
Correct. Now over here we know it's a problem even not razor. Anything that's less than a one is considered an issue.
And what are you saying that it's tully because of the pain that is inflicted, or
Yeah.
because of some destroying of hair?
Pain.
Pain.
Yeah.
So if someone is able to remove it by it's numb, and they know 100% they're not gonna feel any pain. Does that change the equation?
Yeah, the poskim are gonna discuss that. If you remove it through medically, medication, you put a type of cream on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they discuss that. Shiloh. It's a major Shiloh.
I feel that
Yeah.
these are derisers, and
Oh yeah,
I don't
these are
know,
no
in
jokes.
yeshiva, I don't know how much this is stressed.
Yeah, so I remember, I mean, I don't shave that low, so it doesn't apply to me ever. But I remember before I was married, I would shave. And back then, unless something changed, you're supposed to get the shaver with the lifting cut and
Mm-hmm.
disable the lifting cut.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the people in Lakewood who do it for free also. It's a chesed to help other people. At least this is 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's changed, but over here, I think maybe even less than a two could be an issue.
Yeah.
And and a lot of people don't realize, I have the picture. I mean, this is gonna be major discussion on it, but this picture you could actually access online. also. So these halachas come up in your day in the Kuf Pei area. Oh, this is the wrong volume. In the Kuf Pei area, around the Yilbush also. They're all grouped together. Kuf Pei Beis. Yeah, here it is. This is a classic picture. I don't know how well you can see this. This is where I get this from. Yeah, so this is part of Rabbi Forst's picture. This used to be hung up. Um, for more information or to order a free poster suitable for public display, please call 877-729-6726 or 877 Payos 26. So the point is that you have to realize with this is a lot of people mess this up over here. In other words, on top of the ear also is a problem to cut off. A lot of people mess up over there. At least like towards this section. So you got to be careful. This is why a lot of times barbers you have to be careful where you go to. Also, they have this new style um where they take over here and they shave out a little over here. That's
Mhm.
also an issue. I'm not even talking about cutting too high up. That's already
So are you able to thin out the payas?
yeah, anything that's above a two.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure two is the magic number. So, you know, you want to do other hairstyles, do it on your head, but the side is got to be very careful with that. Anyways, so we're just learning the mission now, though. Okay. The Eina Chayiv, Ari Shitalenu
You
Bitar.
did Rabbi Eliezer?
Yeah, Rabbi Eliezer, Amir Imatum Kulan Ka'achas, Einu Chayvel Ka'achas.
Yeah.
If you took them off simultaneously, you only be liable one. Veinu Chayiv Ad Shitalenu Bitar. You're only going to be liable for consider to that's considered that that someone destroyed the beard, and if they took it with a razor, took it with the razor, because that's a destruction. That is not only removing the hair, but it's removing the root. But scissors, that's not going to touch the skin, and that's not considered destruction, at least for the beard. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, afilu loktem b'malakit, even if you took the beard hairs with they have a fancy English word for this. I think they call it a plane.
Hmm.
Oh, birhitani. Yeah, also that's also a similar.
Smoothing and leveling.
Yeah, practically what this is nowadays is a discussion. Chayiv, you'd be responsible. That would be considered liable for that.
Not
That
just a
would be
razor.
considered. What?
Not just a razor.
Yeah. So yeah,
So over here, Rabbi Eliezer is more machmer, whereas earlier he was Mako when he said you only have one Malkus penalty,
yeah,
whereas the Tanakama said you're five individually.
yeah. This
Okay.
reminds me when it comes to cutting hair. It reminds me a lot of cutting grass. That if you have weeds, the way to get rid of the weed is not just to take it from the top and cut it, but it's to pull it out of the ground. So when a person's using a razor, it's pulling the root out, so to say. So, yeah. All right, Gamar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honorable.
Yeah. Okay. Tanu Rabbanan. Lo yikrechu. Okay, this is what I was saying before. You have that. It's actually a different pasuk in Vayikra. Lo yikrechu. Yikrechu. So Yachol afilu karach arba v'chamesh krichois. So this is talking about you can't pull out hair. So one would think this is talking about you're pulling out four or five. Okay. Lo yechayev alachas. Person would only be liable one lash is one lash to get lash once. Tamalomar. That's what the pasuk states. Karcha l'chayev alko karcha v'karcha. To obligate on each one that he's pulling out. that which it says in the continuation, Beroishim, Ma'atam. What's it coming to say on the head? Vishanemar, the pasuk says, Don't scratch and don't rip out hair for deceased yachol. One would think, Lo yeh chayev ela al bain, and I would only be liable on the hair that is by the head that's near the forehead, bilvad alone, by the eyes. Like the pasuk says, bain yenechem, minayin l'rabos. How do we know that this includes kol harosh, the entire head? Tamalomar, that's why the pasuk states, Beroisham. The Rabos Kol Harosh. It's coming to include the entire head. Any hairs that are ripped out, it includes the entire head. This reminds me of it's like a mini suicide. It's not a suicide, but it's a similar idea. It's person can't damage himself. In the yellow, I only know but Kohanim. This is referring to Kohanim. Shariba and Makkos mitzvahs because they have more mitzvahs that they're obligated in. For example, they can't become impure for a deceased, or they can't marry someone divorced, etc. Yisrael minayin. How do we know this refers to a regular non-Kohen, a Yisrael? Nemar Khan, it says over here Karcha. Whenever Lahalan Karcha, it says over here Karcha, and it says later on by Kohanim, it says Karcha. So we have a Gezerah Shava. Malahalon Chayva Kol Karcha v'Karcha v'Chayva Kol Rosh Kibin Einayim. Just like later on, when it comes to the Kohanim, a person did this, a Kohen did this, he would be responsible for everything that he ripped out on each one, like it was between the eyes. Afkan, so too with non-Kohen, with Yisrael, you'd be liable on each and every one.
Long price.
Yeah. Furthermore, and just like later on with a non-Kohen, with a Yisrael, that's only if a person ripped out his hairs because he was in pain, al for a deceased. As the pasuk clearly states in Vayikra Yudal, Lo tasimu karcha b'ineinechem la meis avkan. So to over here, when it comes to Kohanim, one would only be liable when they removed the hair because they were in pain, ala meis for a deceased. Yeah. The Gemara clarifies after quoting this brayso, so the Gemara proceeds to clarify, Hani arva v'chamesh krichois heichidami. These 4 and 5 hairs that are getting pulled out, that you be responsible for each one. What's the case? What type of scenario are we talking about? If you want to say if a person's pulling them out one after another, and there were 5 warnings, separate warnings,
Keep
that's
it.
obvious. That one would be liable for each and every one because there are different acts and different warnings. Ella, rather, and we turn to the Ahmed Bays in the Daf Yomi. Ella, Bachada Hasra. Rather, we're talking about that there was one warning, just one warning, and it was still one after another. Asked the Gemara, would a person be liable in that case? Hatnan, it says in the Mishnah on the next daf, Nazir yain kol hayom. If we had a Nazir, he was drinking wine the entire day, Eino chayiv ela achas, he'd only be liable for the lashes once, to get lashed once. However, if they warned him, the witnesses warned him, they saw that he drank wine, and then they said, V'amru lo, they said, Al tishta, don't drink, Al tishta, don't drink. Ushota, and he still drank from it after all the warnings. Chayiv, he'd be liable to receive lashes al kol achas for each and every one. So why then over here would you be liable for the warning, for one warning, multiple lashes? That's the Gemara's question over here. Rather, what it's talking about, case is talking about the Sach Hameshetz Boisav, person anointed 5 of his fingers with something called Nasa, the type of medicine which causes the hair to get removed and it doesn't grow again. and he placed it in five different places on his head, bebaz achas, simultaneously. The Havyulay, that would be considered hasra l'kol chada v'chada. That'll be considered a warning for each and every one. Okay,
So therefore, even though he only got one warning, he put the cream on all five fingers and then put it
correct,
on all five at the same time. So the Malkus penalty goes on each of those baldings.
correct. And we clearly see from this Gemara that taking the medicine to remove it would be an issue also. It's not just the cause, it's also the effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The kama shear, and how's the amount? That what's the amount that it's considered that you removed it karcha, that you removed the hair? That's prohibition. Ravuna Amar Kadeshi Miroisho, in order that
The
you could
Ritva says that it's usher to remove even a single hair, but what would the Gemara is asking what would qualify for Malkus?
right, what's considered a removal? So Ravuna Amar Kadeshi Mirosho, in order that you could see the skin from your head without any hair. Yochanan Mishum Eliezer Rabbi Shimon Kigris, the size of a bean. Like we see that here in Hilchos Nida, other places, the size of a bean.
Okay, Gris.
Which, by the way, is big enough to grow 36 hairs.
Oh,
6 rows by 6 rows, which would be 36.
is that a big bean or no?
Five times
They're so
two.
thin.
Yeah, the beans are beans, different types of beans, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Someone just told me, I mean, the reverse way, said his brother's bald on the front of his hair, like way more than me, the whole head. And he said he's very self-conscious, and he said that it was expensive. They're flying him to Cyprus or something, and
Mhm.
somewhere in Europe or something, and first class plane and a hotel, and I don't know, reverse way.
And what? It's gonna regrow the hair, or it's someone
Yeah,
else's hair?
they take your hair, they take the roots, and it doesn't mess up where it's growing from, and they put it on the front, and then apparently it continues to grow on the front. The question is, how long does that last? I bounced that off of one of my uncles who's super duper bald. And I said, what about that? He said, yeah, how long does it last for? And how expensive is the thing? And is it worth it? All right. But, yeah. Okay. So that's the story with that. Continuing. Kitana, let's say that this is subject to a argument among the Tanaim. So far, we saw that this is an argument among the Amoraim. Time of the Gemara. Let's say that this between Rav Huna and Rabbi Yochanan. Let's say this goes back even earlier, the time of the Mishnah. Kama shir karcho kigris achire moedim shir ira meroisha. How much is this amount? The answer is the size of a bean, and others say the amount is until you see the skin from your head. Okay. Now the Gemara will relate another argument. Amar Rav Huna bar Chaviva. Pligi bla tosa Tanai. We have an argument among three different Tanaim. Charoimer one says Kigros Chano Kadesh Yomer Roisha Charoimer Kishtei Saros. First two opinions, what we just saw, and the other one says that the amount is 2 hairs.
That's tiny, no?
Yes, indeed. V'ika demafik shtei sarus u'ma'ayel b'kadasha. Some actually take out this third opinion that says 2 hairs, and instead they insert the another opinion over here, who says that it is the size of a lentil. Size of a lentil. So,
Mm-hmm.
which could be 2 rows, based on 2 rows, so it's a little bit more. Doesn't seem that much more, but I thought a lentil was bigger. It's a chiddush based on the Mishnah in the Gaim, first Mishnah of the sixth parak, V'simanach. And what's the sign that one will not make a mistake to remember which one is which? Baheres, Kagris, Umichya, Bekadasha. So we're talking about the Baheres, which is type of saras. A person could get leprosy. Famous case of that is for speaking derogatory information. Lashon
One
hara.
lentil equals 4 hairs,
Yeah,
and one bean equals 9 lentils.
yeah. So the
So
baheres
nine
would be the gris.
lentils is 4 hairs, 36 hairs. The bateres,
Yeah, baheres ke gris and mechivya kadosha. Michya would be the amount of an adasha. Okay. A lot of times when the Gemara says that this is your sign to remember it, you need a sign to remember the sign. But the idea is you want to come up with tricks to remember Torah. Tricks, good study habits.
do you understand this trick?
Seems like there's a comparison between the Baheres, which is the size of a gris, and the Michya, which is a sign that it's impure. That's the Adasha. So too regarding the removing of the hair. Some say it's a gris, some say it's an Adasha. That's all.
Got it. Got it.
Mm. The only problem with this is that third opinion. It's really only covering two. But okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here the Gemara
Mm-hmm.
continues and says,
Mm-hmm.
Tana, Anoitel Maloi Pi Hazog, Shabbos Chayiv. Let's say someone takes his hair and he's using he's talking about from Pi Hazog is scissors, but he's using there's like a sharp part over here. He'd be liable for that.
When one unintentionally removes a scissors tip full of hair on Shabbos,
A
it's
pit hole,
chayav
what do they call
achatos.
that?
Scissors tip full.
I don't know what that is in English.
How do you translate this?
No, I don't know what that means.
He was over on sharing.
No,
A
practically,
scissors
what
tip
part of
full
the
is the
scissor is he
minimum
using?
amount
He's
of
using the chud.
sharing
The chud is the
that
point.
is considered significant. While
I
sharing
think
less hair is likewise us or what is not punishable or subject to chatas.
I think he's using the tip of the scissors, right?
Yeah, yeah, it must be the most minimal amount that a scissors can take off
Yeah.
is considered a substance.
Okay, so he's using that on Shabbos. Chayiv, you'd be liable to bring a chatas. Kamalo piyazug, how much is that amount? Number of Yehuda shtayim. Two hairs. Well, that's what I mean. Minimal amount. Hatanya, the Brisa says the karcha shtayim. If for a karcha, it's considered two, which implies that on Shabbos the amount would be different. Ema v'chela
Why?
karcha,
Why?
because it's a specific halacha that pertains to that, right? To that din of the hair removal, but Shabbos would be different. To that, the Gemara responds, no, change the wording. And similarly for the hair removal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tanya nami hachi.
Then I mean, hopefully, your to support this. And ultimately, lo pi hazug b'Shabbos chayv v'kama lo pi hazug shtayim. So you're going to take that amount, and you're going to be liable to bring a korban chatos. And how much is that amount of the scissors? It's going to be two hairs. Rabbi Eliezer, or Eimer Achaz, Rabbi Eliezer says it's going to be one. When Rabbi Eliezer, agreed to Rabbi Eliezer and Malakit, if you're using that instrument that we said above, sorry, if you're plucking out lavanos mitoch shchoros, you're just trying to remove the white hairs. It's pretty common. Sometimes people try to do this. Afilu achas shulchayv. That's going to be a problem. Even one that you'd be allowed to bring a chatas because you are makbid. You are concerned about the white hair among the black hairs because you don't want to look old. So therefore, collecting it is considered a malacha chashuv, an important act, and therefore you'd be liable on that
This is
because so
anywhere
is
on the
a
body,
shira.
right?
This is what?
Anywhere on the body.
For men. Women is different. Yeah. Yeah, remove. It's even discussion removing hair in unwanted places, even if it's not white. Major discussions there.
I
The
tend to do
davar
that on
then,
Shabbos.
I'm talking
Like
about
if
even during the week.
I have a hair on like my ear, I'll pull
Sure,
it
on
out.
Shabbos you can't. Yours fun. Bedavar zeh, and this matter, afilu b'chol aser. Oh, here it is. Even during the week, it's prohibited. Mishum Shnemer, because the pasuk says Lo Yilbush Kever Simlas Isha, which is basically talking about Lo Yilbush, that we don't cross dress, we don't wear skirts, etc. So it's considered a an act that females do, and therefore removing white hairs is even a problem.
It says removing. It doesn't say anything about dyeing.
Yeah, so it's brought down. The poskim say it's considered a problem. This is a classic shaila, by the way. Um, yeah, general halach would be that dyeing would be a problem. Girls, please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. I'm sleeping. She's resting. Girls, please don't interrupt. Um,
Okay, fine. We'll stop here, Mitzvah Shem. We'll continue tomorrow night.
okay.
You can send me
Cover
the
some ground.
recording.
Well, yeah, I'll email it to you right now.
Thanks so much. Take care, call.
Okay. Okay, it's good.
Night.